As a future English teacher, I'm always wondering how I can help my students that are still trying to master the English language. A lot of times in my core classes, they've often talked about doing home visits for younger grades so you can learn about the family's background and find a way to relate and teach to that child's strengths. But once you get into secondary education, it is much more difficult to do something like a home visit and really get to know that student because of the age group and how parents feel uncomfortable about that sort of thing. And at the secondary level, it is also very difficult to continue through the curriculum that is often advanced while you're reading things like Shakespeare or Mark Twain and still accommodate for those students that are struggling with vocabulary and punctuation and other writing issues. So, when I found Simple English Wikipedia, I was really excited because this could be a great resource for students in ESL programs. So, the way to get here is to go up here and type simplewikipedia.org, and it'll bring you to this page where I already am. And what's cool about this page is what it says right here. Wikipedias are places where people work together and write encyclopedias. A lot of people know what Wikipedia is, but we can use simple English grammar, words and grammar here. What's cool about this is that there are hundreds of thousands of articles that use basic English to help those that are still learning English to better understand concepts that they might not understand otherwise through reading a textbook or something like that. So, for example, if my students are struggling with something like punctuation, it comes up with this very useful article talking about each punctuation and where it goes and its significance in English. So in Spanish, a lot of times periods and commas have interchangeable meanings. So if they want to say 16.5%, they will actually have a comma instead of a period, or something along those lines. And if they are unclear about those rules in English, because the rules are so different from Spanish, where I'm assuming a lot of my ESL students will be coming from, they can refer to a page like this, where the names are very clear and where it has each symbol. And if they want more in-depth, a more in-depth explanation, they can come down here, and there are very useful examples. What's also very neat is you can create pages that are not currently available. So let's say I want to do a unit on diverse literature in the United States. There are no pages on Native American literature, so one can be created. And all you have to do is click on it and start writing. You can put in information of any kind you'd like. So I've typed in Sherman Alexie, who is a famous Native American author, but if you want to just talk about why it's written or other figures or some common themes, you can also place it here. And if you're not sure how to put it in simple English, because, we speak English and sometimes we don't take into consideration how much we're talking, they have a very useful page. If you go back to the home page, and it says, learn how to write pages here. And what's really neat is it's very specific on what type of words you could use. So it says things like, instead of using a phrase like hard work, use a phrase like much work, because the word hard could insinuate like a solid surface rather than the amount of effort being put forth. So things like that. So the vocabulary should be very simple and easy to translate so that all students will be able to take hold of this information even though they're still mastering the language, because this sort of thing takes a lot of time. And this, I think, is the entire point of a UDL like this.